Hello everyone, I'm Dan Mitchell from the School of Geographical Sciences. I'm going to be talking to you about the Bristol Climate Data Hackathon. As with any large initiative, I had to lean on a number of groups and people here, and I just want to acknowledge Gene Golding Institute, Met Office Partnership and the Cabot Institute, who were instrumental to this. So what was this hackathon? It was a 3-day event. It was coming together of around 100 early career researchers across the UK to do research on climate change, to take some seminars, and just to meet each other and get to know each other. So there were 10 cutting-edge climate change research questions, and they were posed by scientists around the UK who were leaders in this field. And then there were 10 early career researchers per project, so that led to 100 early career researchers, and anyone at any UK institute could apply for this. So this is the most of the applicants here, nice smiley faces. This was an online event, so we can take these photos really easily because of that. If I were to sum up exactly what this was, I would say it was an event where we created tools and techniques to open climate science to the world. And most of these people here are not climate scientists. They are people from outside that field who wanted to do climate science. And so another way to frame this is we were bringing a lot of very smart people together outside of climate change into the field. We could use some of their techniques, and then we could share some of our techniques. So how did that break down in terms of participation? Well, this was open up to any early career researcher, and it was a self-assessment. If you felt you were early career researcher, you could apply for it. So no surprises, we got mainly PhD students and postdocs, some more senior people. Perhaps I'd question this one person if they're an ECR, but we were very open, so we didn't really care. And then we had around a 50-50 gender split as well, which was really nice to see. These were sort of by the by, actually, and our main widening research was actually discipline widening. And so for early career researchers, what did it do? We opened up climate sciences, which can be a bit of a daunting subject, especially as our data sizes are always huge. So we had around 40 petabytes of data. A petabyte is 1,000 terabytes. So your standard laptop is around 1 terabyte. So we had around 1,000 laptops worth of data here, which is a really daunting task for those who are not used to dealing with big data. So we made it accessible to institutes and researchers who perhaps didn't know how to use big data, or they didn't have the sort of techniques that we used as well. There are only a handful of climate research centres in the UK, so actually that was the most of the UK fell into that category. Many people are worried about the sort of advanced techniques and tools we need to use. So we use programming languages like Python and R and C++. And so we set up scripts, we made it very accessible to them in that sense, so that they could access data with worked examples. This is all available online now. They got to meet world experts in the field. They would have never met these sort of people at their normal conferences because it's outside of their direct field. And then we published a joint paper together, and actually around 50, so around half of our applicants, this was the first peer-reviewed paper they had, so it was a great addition to their CV. It wasn't just the ECRs that benefited, actually the faculty did. Each faculty who proposed a question had around 10 ECRs, and they were, very enthusiastic ECRs working directly on your dream topic. And that's actually a really nice group of people. So a lot of these groups are actually still working together half a year after the event, and more papers that are coming out. How was it received? I've just brought up 3 quotes here. The first is actually from Twitter, and it's a slightly strange quote, but it's just to emphasize that this particular person really liked to look at this event. We're just disappointed that it was only open to UK, which is our starting point. This was a biogeochemist at Liverpool. They were particularly excited about a new technique they learned called time of emergence, which is a climate change technique, and applying it to their field of flights of birds called Arctic terns. And these birds fly from the North Pole to the South Pole and back. And so this project actually showed a climate change influence on that flight path. That's really interesting. This is a health scientist from Reading, and she said that it was all about the meeting new people, it was sharing new ideas and the code knowledge exchange. That's what she really took from it. So what was the outcome? We did a word cloud, and working as a team was one of the real things people liked here. Remember, this is during COVID times. Most people hadn't even been out of the house, let alone to an event. And we really put a lot of emphasis in making this feel like it was a fun social event. And a lot of people just hadn't spoken to new people in a very long time. To facilitate that, we put yoga sessions on as well, and that went down really well. And then there was the outputs we produced. There was papers, but there was also some really nice results that we actually took to the conference at the parties. So that was the climate negotiations in Glasgow that you may have seen on the news. We took results from this hackathon to that event and showed politicians. And so there's a really great outcome there for a lot of people who haven't had that sort of engagement. If I had to give some take-home messages for what the ECRs took away from here, I'd say they've all now experienced a very different subject area. They've met 10 very like-minded people from their group who are in different disciplines, and there's a lot of value in that because you don't normally meet those sort of people at your usual conferences. They've all got a new paper, and then perhaps most importantly, there's an amazing new data resource online. There's scripts, there's examples of how to do climate science, and it's made climate science a lot less daunting for a lot of people. As a final output, I just wanted to show you this animation of a project which came out of the hackathon. So this was modeling a fantasy planet from the book series, The Wheel of Time. You might have seen the Amazon Prime series. And so we modeled this using our climate model and showed people what the jet streams are like, and that's what's here. So that was a great sort of outcome as well. Thanks for listening.